God, look at her.
So, tell me why my brother pointed out something to me the other day. When I put this filter on, he was like, aren't you supposed to be turned around? And I was like, what? And he was like, you're supposed to be turned around because it's going the other way. You know, and that shit just bad for me because I'm like, am I dumb? Because for a second I was like looking at it and I was like, I'm supposed to be turned around. Why am I supposed to be turned around? But yeah, we're supposed to be turned around. What? Don't mind the video in the back. I'm currently rewinding my tapes because I have a habit of not doing that. And then I get mad at myself because I want to watch a movie and all the tapes are at the end. So don't even look at it. Anyways, so I wanted to make this video because I feel like with everything that's been going on in the world, I feel like you can't get on social media nowadays without some breaking news channel, you know, talking about something. And it just seems like there's nothing but negativity out there. Like, obviously you get your good-hearted stories here and there, but it's just like the weight of the world is all on social media sometimes. So for the past couple of weeks, I've decided to disconnect from social media and just kind of find, you know, new hobbies or, you know, get into the hobbies that I already have. And hold on, I'm gonna get up periodically to keep pressing rewind on that. Anyways, like I was saying, it's been tough. I had this one friend who I felt like had the weight of the world on her shoulders, and you can tell, like, you know, like, I feel like she's depressed a lot of the times because of everything that she was seeing in the news. And I mean, I couldn't blame her. Realistically, who could? It's a stressful time to be online, honestly. So my solution to that is to just disconnect. What the fuck is going on? Hello? Alright, let's switch. I don't know what those birds was doing. They was tweaking, I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, I'm not gonna lie, with everything that's going on, it makes me want to like bang my head against the wall. Like the friend that I have, I feel like she feels things so deeply. And at the time, I really couldn't give her any comforting words because, I mean, I didn't even have any words to comfort myself. I just had things I did, you know, my craft, I guess. So that's kind of what this video is going to be about. Just kind of showing you guys what I kind of do to disconnect a little bit, to get off, to stop doom scrolling, to get offline and just really spend some time with myself. So yeah, with that being said, I'm a serial hobbyist, which in my terms means that I like to try a bunch of different hobbies, and I have tried lots of different hobbies. I tried to crochet, I tried painting, I tried extreme activities, canoeing, you know, things like that. And none of them really stuck. I think that's why I tried so many, because, you know, I wanted to figure out what it is that I actually like doing versus, you know, just doing it just to do it, I guess. But there are a couple things that stuck, and, you know, I'm kind of proud of them. So, as you can see my little baby TV over there, I recently bought her at a thrift store for like 50 bucks, which I think is high priced for a CR TV that's like, what, 9 inches or so? Whatever. But anyways, she comes with a VHS in the TV, VHS player in the TV. So then I bought a DVD player, which is right here on top of my CD player. But anyways, every time I go to a thrift store, I just, oh, wait. Alright. So, yes. Recently bought her at a thrift store. And one of my favorite things to do is go to a thrift store and immediately go to the DVD section to see what they have. And you know, it kind of just reminded me of those Blockbuster days. Now granted, when Blockbuster was out, I was a child, so I vaguely remember going to Blockbuster with my mom to pick out a movie or two. It is a faded memory, so it's not as strong, but I can only imagine like being in your 20s or your teens and going to Blockbuster and, you know, walking around picking out a movie or something, and you just came from like ShopRite, and now you got yourself a tube of ice cream or pint of ice cream, and you're in Blockbuster, you're roaming the DVD section, and you're like, should I choose between horror or romance, or maybe I want a little action, right? And as you're looking for movies, someone walks up to you and they're like, you should watch this movie, and you're like, why thank you, kind stranger, what's your name? And now you started a conversation and you met someone in a DVD store. Like, doesn't that appeal to you? Like, I mean, that rarely, you know, that probably happened a lot, and I'm not even gonna lie, that would be a great tactic for a serial killer. But my bad. Anyways, yeah, so I buy most of my VHS tapes and DVDs from the thrift store, but I did find a Blockbuster equivalent. It's a bookstore slash DVD store, so they have tons of DVDs, which are overly priced in my opinion, I'm not gonna lie, but okay, whatever. They do have like this section outside where it's like DVDs for $1, which are nice, but I guess it's the DVDs that nobody buys or something, who knows. But anyways, I rack up on the motherfuckers because DVDs for $1, you know, like, you tripping. $1 is $1 at the end of the day, so I'm gonna watch these. But anyway, so I figured I'd show you guys some of my DVDs that I bought recently because I'm super obsessed. And we're gonna start off big because we go big or we go home, okay? Alright, so the first DVDs that I want to show you are something that I watched as a child. Now, I do have my other DVD, and I probably should show you my entire DVD collection, but I don't want to overwhelm you guys because it's pretty insane. Okay, all right. So, Fighting Temptation. You can see it better. So I used to watch this as a kid a lot at the time before I even know who Beyonce really was. Like, that's how young I was, and I don't even know what year this came out in. Oh, 2003, yeah. So, you know, didn't even know who Beyonce was for real, but I knew this movie. And, you know, if anybody, I could probably quote the lines from that movie if you asked me, realistically. I also have Hocus Pocus, which is another movie that I watched frequently as a child. And then I have Princess Protection Program. Oh, what the fuck? Princess Diaries. I have Princess Diaries. And right now that's what's currently in the VHS because I wanted to watch it. But apparently when they sell VHSs, they don't rewind them. So now I have to fucking rewind it. Anyways, I also bought Brother Bear, which is another movie that I used to watch when I was a kid. And I actually wouldn't mind watching this later. Yeah. Oh, and the best part about DVDs is that sometimes they come with like little pamphlets and stuff that just remind you of like everything that went on during that time, and I love it. Like, they got coupons in here for, I don't even know, popcorn. Yeah, they have popcorn coupons and stuff, like a little coupon book. Mary Poppins, sing along song. Oh, look, that's a raven. Not I'm gonna lie, this looks like a little, what, zine? That's it? Zine. I don't know what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about. But pretty cool, right? Anyways, so those are like the VHSs that I bought. And then I have Minority Report because it's honestly one of my favorites. I got X-Men 2. And then I got Bridesmaids because it just was a funny classic movie that I'm obsessed with. Also Sharknado. So those were the movies, majority of these movies were from thrift stores, but the ones that were inside the bookstore, they had like The Office, How I Met Your Mother. They had the newer stuff, like stuff that's on, obviously on streaming networks. So I was like, I had to make sure. So I had to make sure that I got something very intentional, something that I know that I would love to just watch on my little baby TV. Oh shit, hold up. That's the only thing about having VHS tapes I will say, is the rewind is killing me. So if you have VHS tapes and you're giving it up, please rewind it back for thrift store purposes for people like me who still have VHS tapes. Please and thank you. Anyways, now these are my top favorite DVDs that I bought. Bada bang, bada boom, bada bang.
I have checked everything. There's no reason why the chandelier should not be working.
I am obsessed. Now, they only had season 1 and 2, so I bought both because I needed that. Yeah, I really needed that. And the crazy part is, like, because it's a full season, look at how many. It's three cases. And look at their faces. It's 3 cases, and each case has 2 discs. Crazy. And my next purchase will be season 1. And that's all I want, honestly, because after season 3, I don't want to watch it. And then my other favorite purchase of all time. I wish you can, like this light is killing it. Okay. Boom, bada bang, bada boom, bada bang, bada boom. Okay. Yes, so I got Buffy the Vampire Slayer season 6, which is the only Buffy that they had. If they had other seasons, I would get him. Not the entire series, but, like, you know, season 4, I would definitely want. And I don't want season 5. Maybe season. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, but I would definitely get the other seasons. Just not 1, because that's just boring. But anyways, check this out. So they have this, and then it opens up to more pictures, and then it opens up again to more pictures, and then again. So they're wait, one more. Check it out. You can't tell me that's not pretty cool though. Like all of these damn. And then this is the back. So yeah, they also were during a time where the DVDs could not fit on 1 disc. So, but you know, another thing that I do to try to disconnect from everything is to, you know, read. That's probably one of the most easiest things anyone can do, because you can get, you know, free books from libraries. You can get them, borrow them from libraries. Tons of stores that still sell books, and you know, writers today that are making their name for themselves in the business. But I love reading queer novels. That's kind of my thing. A long time ago in high school, I may or may not have had a Wattpad account, and I may or may not have written fan fiction that may or may not have been about lesbians. Anyways, so I used to read fan fiction all the time on Wattpad. I mean, like book after book after book after book. And mind you, they were like pretty lengthy. I'm talking like a couple pages each chapter, and it'd be like 30-40 chapters. But that was my bread and butter. Honestly, those books got me through a very hard time of adolescence, I will say. So, but after that, I kind of moved over into poetry books, and since then, probably like, I would say like around 2020 when the pandemic happened, I kind of got out of that, which is so weird. You know, you would think that when the pandemic happened, I would get more into books, but I kind of got out of it and did something completely different. But that didn't stop me from buying books. You know, I would buy books, but mainly like maybe astrology or self-help books, or, you know, something along those lines. But it wasn't really like any fiction. and I kind of want to get back into that. So, oh, actually, let me get the rest. Oh, no, I did not. I'm sorry. I turned the light off. I'm sorry. Come back to me, my friend. Come back. Oh, there you are. So let me put y'all on real quick. There's an app called Thrift Books where you can buy books for very, very cheap. Now, when I looked at all these books online, they were like $15, $16, but on that app, it was like $5, $7, very well priced. And honestly, I think that's what the book should be priced at realistically, because some of these are really, really old. Anyways, so I started buying a lot of lesbian books, lesbian novels. This was the first one, Odd Girl Out. Did I like it? I don't know. I think this one was a series as well, and I wasn't too fond of it. I can't tell you what it was about because I read it a while ago. I also bought this book, Amateur City. This is by Catherine B. Forrest. It's about a detective who is solving a murder case and kind of gets a little too close to one of the witnesses, if you know what I mean. This one is also a series, and I was gonna buy the second one, but then there's some things in this book that I wasn't too fond of, so I didn't decide. I was like, let me just read the rest of the books that I bought with that pack, and then I'll continue from there. Now, I also bought Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. I haven't actually read this one yet. Look how it's pretty hefty. I'm not gonna lie. So I haven't gotten around to this. Also, I'm not a huge fan of like time period pieces. You know, like I can go back to, you know, the 1980s, but all the way to 1862 in London? I don't know. But nonetheless, I still plan on reading this book once I finish the series that I have, which I'm about to show you now. The book that I'm about to show you is a series, and it currently has me in a chokehold. And I was like, what is that noise? Hold on. Okay, anyways, the book I'm about to show you is a series actually, and it currently has me in a chokehold. I have not put it down since I bought it. And then once I finished that book, I immediately bought the next 4 books in that series. I think there's 7 altogether, so I have 2 more to buy. But I figured, let me get through these first, and then I'll buy the next 2, the last 2. Which also, I'm just like, I don't want it to end. But anyways, it is called I Left My Heart by J. Mayman. This is what the book looks like. Now this book is about what do you call it? Now this book is about a writer. She writes romance novels, hetero romance novels, even though she's a lesbian. And she also, I believe, writes travel reviews, you know, locations, places to stay, things like that. So that's how she makes her money. And one day her ex-lover dies. Now, she lives in New York. Her ex-lover lives in San Francisco. So she travels basically to San Francisco to figure out what happened, you know? And in the midst, she kind of uncovers a lot of secrets. So yes, this is a mystery novel. And my oh my. My oh my. Like, it is, yeah. One of my favorite books that I've read so far, and the last couple of years, honestly. It just kind of grips you, you know, it kind of has me on the edge of my seat, wanting to know more. And as I'm reading throughout the book, I'm just trying to figure out what is going on, who did it, and why, you know what I'm saying? I feel like you won't be able to put it down. Yeah. And one thing I like about, one of my favorite things about reading the Wattpad books and the Wattpad books, the lesbian Wattpad books on, you know, Wattpad, was the drama, you know, the lesbian drama, the back and forth, the arguments, the sex, the love, the romance, all of that. And this book has that for the most part. Now, Robin's kind of like a closed off type of person. Like, her past trauma kind of prevents her from loving again or whatever. And you clearly see that in this book. Like, this girl will piss you off. And somehow she always gets herself in these sticky situations, like to the point of death. So 10/10, you gotta read it. Now, her other books, I'll just show you her other books. I This one is called, this is the second book in the series. It's called Crazy for Loving. And then this is the third book called Under My Skin. Finished those in this week, literally. I just finished Under My Skin, which is the third book. I just finished the third book last night, actually. And again, she was pissing me off. But, and I don't want to ruin it for anybody, so that's why I'm just like, let me not say what happened or, you know, anything that I really want to say, because I want to tell y'all so bad what happened in this book, but I can't because I don't want to ruin it for you. I want you to read it. So, but yeah, these are the 3 books that I've read so far with this month. And I'm currently on Someone to Watch, which is the 4th book in the Robin Miller mystery. By the 2nd book, she kind of deemed herself as like a private investigator. She's working with like this ex-cop and stuff like that. So now she's really, you know, into investigating like murders and things like that. Which I think is pretty cool. Can you fix yourself? Thank you. Which I think is pretty cool. But anyways, yes, Someone to Watch is the 4th book that I'm on. I haven't started it yet because last night I was up till 2 a.m. finishing this one, and I was like, you know what? You need to calm down. Like, you need to calm down, because at the rate I'm going, I'm about to finish all of these books, and then I'm gonna be crying boo-hoo tears because the series is over. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like, honestly, if I'm being honest, I probably would read this series over again, and that's how much I like it. So, highly recommend. Anyways, oh, and then I have the 4th book. This is the 5th book actually. Baby, it's cold. Yeah, this is the 4th book. Actually, the 5th. I'm tripping. Yeah, this is the 5th book, right there. So I'm gonna take my time on these 2 so that once I get the last 2, I won't be so sad about it, because I am going through these books like fucking ice and hell. But anyways, another book that I am currently reading, because I like to double up and make my life difficult, is Sanford Meisner on acting. Now, if you guys don't know who that is, he was a acting coach. He also was an actor himself, and he basically collaborates with this guy to follow his acting class. I believe in the beginning of the book he talked about writing a book on acting, and he completely hated it because it didn't really convey the message that he was giving his class. Like, it wasn't the same, because every actor is different and you can't really teach it through a book, if that makes sense. So this is actually kind of in the point of view of his classroom. So basically, and I believe, like, realistically, they have, I think, 2 or 3 hours of his class online, and I'm pretty sure it's basically what this book is. But yes, you get to see the exercises. He goes through a bunch of exercises for these actors to do, and you kind of see them mess up, which I like, because, and then you kind of see them go through, you know, what went wrong in this moment, which I like, because it kind of teaches you more than, you know, if somebody said act like this or do this or you're supposed to do this, you know, versus like having examples right in front of you. So this one is good. I also have another one called The Power of the Actor by Ivana Chumbuk. Yeah, Ivana Chumbuk. I don't know how to say her name. But anyways, that one's also pretty good in my opinion. But yeah, so those are the books that I'm into right now. And honestly, I might just start just a chapter of the 4th book in the series, because I am hooked. I also recently started making CDs. And I have a video that's coming out. I don't know if it's coming out or if it's already out, because I don't know if I'm gonna switch the order of release dates for any of these. But anyways, I recently bought a pack of CDs because I have a CD player now, and I wanted to listen to playlists versus buying a CD and listen to someone's full album. So I wanted to mix my own music, make little playlists, and, you know, go from there. So I bought CDs. I bought a what do you call it? A drive, and I started making CDs. And And this is one of my first CDs that I made. I decorated a little bit, but I plan on going to like the dollar store to get like a little bit more supplies, because right now all I have is paint, because all of my colored pencils. Actually, you know what? I have colored pencils, I'm sure. But I want to go to the actual like thrift store and stuff to kind of not the thrift store. I want to go to the dollar store so I can get like stuff for scrapbooks and kind of scrapbook it up a little bit better than this, because I think this is kind of plain in my opinion, but it's still cute, you know. And probably, and the last thing that I haven't started yet, actually no, that's a lie, I started it, but I started it as far as like outline. Like I said, I used to write fan fiction, and reading these books now has got me back into wanting to write my own. So I started kind of outlining something for like a lesbian novel fiction. Yeah. And realistically, you know, I had an idea of like, oh, well, what if I, you know, kind of came out with my own book, you know, just for funsies or whatever. And not to say like, you know, it's that easy, but shit, I don't know. I just don't limit myself to anything that I can do. So I was like, if you want to write a book, babe, go ahead and write a motherfucking book. But the best part, I think, of writing back then was kind of delving myself into these characters and kind of disappearing in their lives and their situations. And I kind of want to remember what that feels like. So I'm kind of creating a world right now, and a synopsis, and you know, an outline of something, and you know, I'm kind of excited about it. I haven't started yet. I haven't started officially writing, but when I do, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, that is basically the gist of what I do to kind of get out of this crazy ass atmosphere at the moment. 1 second. Oh, you know what? It's done! Okay. Alright, so now my movie is done, which is crazy. The fact that like rewinding this took the length of this video. So now you know how long it takes to rewind a tape. And I don't know how long Princess Diaries is, but think about that, like, because at the, you know, during this time you could be like making dinner or, you know, baking cookies or something, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, there are a couple of things though that, you know, with being offline, that I've had a kind of craving for, and that is, you know, kind of going out by myself. You know, I spend a lot of time indoors for the most part, and I love spending time with myself. I mean, all of this, things that I'm doing, it's just me. You know, it's just me, myself, with whatever device that I have, an outlet or whatever. So I have no problem spending time with myself. I do think that, you know, sometimes when it comes to going out and doing things alone, it gets kind of nerve-wracking and scary sometimes. But that's only because, like, the dangers of this world, you know, like, it's not scary being in public by yourself unless you're alone, you know, and it's dark and you're going to your car or something like that. Like, that's when it gets kind of scary for the most part. You know, because I don't want to get kidnapped. But anyways, so there are some things that I kind of had a recent craving for, you know, like kind of going to a coffee shop or a bookshop, and actually sitting down and reading, or going out to eat by myself and sitting down and reading and things like that. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to find time, carve out time in my somewhat busy schedule of reading and writing and making CDs and buying stuff to take myself out, you know. And I encourage you to do the same, honestly. Whether that's even, you know, whether that's by yourself or even with friends, it's still, you know, that's the best way, I feel like, to kind of disconnect, especially, you know, and I know it's hard to not be on your phone when you're out to eat, and especially if you're by yourself. But take a book, you know, take a book, read, or I don't know, maybe even take, if you like to paint, you can take that. Yeah, that's all I have as far as things that I like to do. And you know, if you ever need recommendations for a book, or kind of, I don't know, just someone to talk to about what's going on, and just a venting partner, hit me up. You know, I'm right here, because I know it can get hard out there. We all are struggling, so. But I will give it to you straight. Don't play with that one. But anyways, yeah. So I'll see you in a second.